Let us take a quick look at a risk manager. One of the things that risk manager can do is actually in here in configuration monitor. We can actually specify read-only access into the switches, IPSs, firewalls, routers, etc. So QRadar Risk Manager can actually read the configuration of those devices, and among many things that it can do is actually it can get you a very nice graph of the actual topology of your network. These are the devices that are in this demo network, and you can see whether there is a path between the different components, whether there's a path which is actually blocked by a firewall rule, whether there are shadow firewall rules. It is not a device for managing firewalls. It is actually a device that gets the intelligence of that network topology to perform multiple functions, like for example detecting which vulnerabilities are accessible from the internet or exploitable from the internet. And in this section of policy monitor is where you actually define those things. Look at the number of different policies that we have here, and those that have the question mark or the exclamation mark are because they use a reference set that I do not have defined in the system. So I've been playing with this particular policy in here. Let me actually edit it for us to see it. And this basically says, well, if you have a vulnerability, and this actually works on actual communication. It can actually work on possible communication due to the topology information. But it says if I have a vulnerability that the CVSS is greater than 5 and is included in this search, which I created, PCI risky assets, then this policy is actually going to trigger. Let me actually show you that search that I have in the asset database, and actually I have it here in my quick searches. This is the one that I'm showing here, PCI risky asset, and it finds that these devices have a vulnerabilities with the PCI urgent in it. So I'm actually going to use that for that policy. And actually I went ahead in the monitor question and told it, notice that this policy gets evaluated every hour, but we're gonna run it manually here. But I specify this action here. It says, well, vulnerability score adjustment. I check on this box that is dispatch question and say increase 100% the risk score of that vulnerability when the policy failed, which is actually failure is actually sounds like a negative logic, but if failure is actually a detection that the policy has actually triggered. So if we look at all the vulnerabilities that we have in here in this demo system, and we sort them by risk scores, we see, these vulnerabilities, some of these vulnerabilities has actually increased the risk score because I've been playing with the vulnerability and the score that start with the CVSS score of actually from 0 to 10. I actually doubled it before. So we are going to actually run the policy one more time. So we take that and we submit the question. This policy, because my network is actually very small, gets evaluated very, very quickly. And it finds that this particular device, 172.16.60.79, is actually is the one that results on the policy. And that's actually is going to make the actual vulnerabilities being double.